What's happening, my Jacked family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. Today's video is all about how men over 40 can build bigger traps, but just as important is why you need to build bigger traps. Number one is that building bigger traps improves your overall aesthetics. It's really impressive when you get to see those traps in action when you're doing a lot of different back exercises, but even more impressive is when you see a fellow bro bending over to get a drink at the water fountain and he's wearing a shirt, even a sweatshirt, and you see the trap muscles bulging out with it's just very impressive. It's like a sculpture, a work of art. Reason number two is that the traps are involved in a lot of different exercises, so strengthening the traps can help you improve other exercises. But number three is probably the most important reason that men over 40 should focus on building bigger, stronger traps, is that the exercises to build bigger, stronger traps can help improve your overall shoulder health and shoulder stability, shoulder mobility. So we're gonna get through a bunch of exercises that are going to build bigger traps for you, and I'll explain how these can improve your overall shoulder mobility and shoulder health as well for us fellow men over 40. If you enjoyed these exercises and tips, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, do me a favor and share it with them. Like I said, there's a lot of exercises where the traps are involved. You've probably heard people say that if you want to build bigger traps, you should do more deadlifts, mainly because you're lifting heavy loads there. So your traps are under a lot of tension when you're lifting that weight up. You can also experience a similar kind of tension with the Romanian deadlift as well as a rack pull. Both are going to be using heavy loads and both are going to have the traps under a lot of tension. The traps are involved in pull-ups, pull-downs, and all kinds of rowing variations. So when you're performing these exercises, they definitely help build your traps, but they're not working them directly. A common exercise you'll often see used to build bigger traps is the upright row, which also works the lateral aspect of the delts. I prefer the cable variation of this movement as opposed to a barbell or even dumbbells. I like the movement, the free-flowing movement there. You want to make sure you're working within your own personal range of motion. If you got good, healthy shoulders, you can raise those elbows upwards above the shoulder joint there. Just be cautious, just be careful, and of course, you're not going to be using heavy loads here. With this movement, I prefer to aim for like 12 to 15 repetitions. Most common exercise you see our fellow men over 40 using to build bigger traps is the shrug. You can perform it with a barbell either behind you or in front of you. When you have the barbell in front of you, you'll want to lean forward just a little bit. So hinge at the hips a little bit so you're not going to injure yourself, if you know what I mean. I'm sure we've all been in that position before performing a shrug, and it can get a little uncomfortable if that bar is a little bit too close to your junk. To avoid this, you can use a trap bar or you can use dumbbells. It's usually my preference using dumbbells over a barbell. I just don't find the same kind of contraction, the same kind of feel with the barbell that I do with a dumbbell. But there's also various hammer strength type machines, Atlantis machines, that can do a similar feel as a dumbbells, but a little bit different kind of control. A lot of them, I like the one at my former gym that had adjustable handles, like the handles could rotate, they were free flowing in your hand, so you could change the grip position, and that had a little bit of a different feel to where you feel it within your traps. So a little grip change can make a big difference in how you feel a movement. At the new gym here, the handles are sturdy, set in place, but they have different grips. They have in closer grip and in wider grip, pronated or neutral. So different machines like that can be very helpful for building your traps and not have to use a barbell where it can get a little bit uncomfortable. So a lot of times it's going to be a personal preference whether you want dumbbells, machines, or barbells. Another option is performing a reverse shrug on a dip station. So you get into a dip position, you're going to lock your arms in place, and then just allow your body to sink down. So when your body is sinking down, it's like your shoulders are up to your ears, and then you're going to push your body upwards, and that's when you're going to be in the stretched position of there when you're up in the top position. So a little bit different feel with this reverse shrug than when you're lifting up a barbell or a dumbbells, but it's definitely just as effective. It's just a nice different option for you to experiment with. But the thing with these common exercises to build bigger traps for men over 40 is that they all work the upper traps, and the traps have a mid component and a lower component that are activated with different exercises, different movements. So if you want to build your biggest traps possible and have the most most aesthetic physique possible, you're going to want to incorporate exercises that work the entire trap muscles, not just the big ones that you see kind of bulging up over your shoulders there. You really want to get the whole traps involved where it can build a thicker overall impressive back. One of my favorite exercises to build the mid and lower trap is a prone shrug. So you can either get on an adjustable incline bench where you adjust it to one of the lower positions, or if you have a setup like I have here at my gym here, that's already kind of angled into that position, a little bit more comfortable to get in and out of. And basically it's a scapula retraction type exercise where you're going to keep the arms pretty much locked in place and you're just trying to squeeze those shoulder blades together and then open them completely up. Squeeze them together as tight as you can and then allow them to completely open up in a fully stretched position. And again, this is going to enhance your mind-muscle connection, strengthening your traps. It's also going to strengthen the rhomboids and some other supporting muscles within your back. These are great muscles to work for your posture as well. And like I said, these are great exercises for your overall shoulder stability, shoulder mobility, and shoulder health. So I highly, I can't emphasize enough the importance of including prone shrugs and other types of scapular retraction type exercises in your programming, because it's just you'll notice in the beginning you don't have a strong mind muscle connection with those muscles, and they may even be weaker. You're not going to be able to squeeze your shoulder blades together as much as you think you can, especially when you're just focused on only controlling those muscles, only allowing the scapula to open and contract, and not allowing a lot of other supporting muscles to get involved. So really want to work through the entire range of motion. You don't want to go overly too heavy in the beginning. Just work on getting great control, great movement, great mobility with your shoulder blades here. And these are going to strengthen, like I said, the mid-lower trap aspects of the traps, as well as the rhomboids and other supporting muscles of the shoulder blades. They're going to help you improve your overall shoulder joint health. Similar to the prone shrug is a seated scapular retraction. So you're going to get into like a seated row machine, and any kind of, whether it's a cable seated row or a hammer strength seated row type machine. And all you're going to do, once again, is just squeeze those shoulder blades together, open them up, retract the shoulder blades, protract the shoulder blades. Really feeling you're going to feel an intense burn, intense contraction, not just in your traps, not just in those supporting muscles around the shoulder blades, but you can even feel these in the lats as well. So great back exercise. I like this to finish off my back workout, so I'll aim for about 12 to 15 reps with these scapular retraction type exercises. When it comes to shrugs, I typically put those on shoulder days. Why? I don't know. It's probably the way I've programmed them from an early age. It's probably from reading the magazines and everything. I always seem to see shrugs placed on shoulder days. So days I'm going to do a shoulder workout, it's going to be some form of shrug that's going to work kind of the upper aspects of the traps. And then days when I'm training my back, that's when I'm going to kind of place a little bit more emphasis on kind of the mid and lower aspects of the trap with scapular retraction exercises, not just in the rowing position, but you can do these in a wide grip pull down type position as well. So once again, same idea, but instead of squeezing the shoulder blades together like directly backwards horizontally, you're going to do it vertically. So you're trying to squeeze those shoulder blades downwards and then allow them to stretch upwards, downwards and upwards. So definitely going to get a lot of trap involvement here, a lot of rhomboid involvement as well. Once again, this is great for shoulder mobility, shoulder stability in a different way, in a different direction. So for us men over 40, shoulder health is a key freaking issue. So working in these scapular retraction type exercises into your training is going to have huge benefits to not only your overall shoulder joint health, but also your aesthetics as well. So you probably noticed through all of these different exercises, I'm controlling the movement. You can have a brief squeeze, like a brief pause, maybe up to 2 seconds in the peak contracted position. It's not absolutely necessary. I like to work it in from time to time. Sometimes I'll just go controlled throughout the whole range of motion without pausing at the top. Both are acceptable. Both are fantastic. Both have pros and cons to them. You get that little brief squeeze at the top, you might not be able to get as many reps in. But what you also notice is that I'm not rounding my shoulders. I see a lot of people, they think that the appropriate way to shrug is they got the shoulders forward and they round them back as they're coming up and then back downwards. that's not what you want to do. You just want those muscles, the shoulders, to go up towards your ears and straight down. Straight up towards your ears and straight down. Again, trying not to get any momentum involved here. You can have a slight bend in your elbows. You don't have to have your arms completely locked out. In fact, it's probably going to be a little bit better for you if you have a slight bend in your elbows. Just make sure that you're not curling it up with your arms, that you are just working on the mobility of your shoulders there. So bringing those shoulders up towards the ears. Other things is to not go too freaking heavy with this. Make sure that you are working through that full range of motion. That's a common mistake I see a lot of people do, is load up the bar and then they can't work within their full range of motion. They're just doing partial reps the entire way. I don't mind. I love partial reps at the very end of a set. I think it's fantastic finisher to really get the most, to really safely extend a set. But you want to make sure at least the bulk of your reps are going to be through that full range of motion. The rep range I prefer to aim for with all of these different shrugging variations, including the scapular retraction exercises, is between 8 and 15 repetitions. If you find that your grip is a limiting factor, you can use wrist wraps. I love the Versa grips. They come in really handy with these shrugging movements, but like I said, oftentimes I'm not loading so heavy that I find that my grip fails me before my traps do. But if the grip, you don't want your grip to be a limiting factor, so don't be afraid to use those accessories to help you hold on to the bar. Chalk can work really great as well. But if you do want to make sure, if you want to build your grip strength at the same time, you can go without the straps and keep working these shrugging exercises into your programming, and in the process you'll improve your grip strength as well. So again, if you want to build thicker, bigger traps after 40, it's important that you train them twice per week. You can hit the upper aspect on shoulder day, you can hit the mid and lower aspect on back day, and of course they're going to get worked in various upper body exercises as well as if you're doing any kind of deadlifting, Romanian deadlifting, rack pulls. Traps are definitely going to get involved there. So pay attention to your overall recovery, and again, work within that 8 to 15 rep range. 3 sets is going to be more than enough, and typically using these exercises at the end of a workout as a way to finish. You don't want your traps to fatigue and be a limiting factor with some of the exercises that you're performing that day. And now I'd like to hear from you. Are you incorporating shrugging exercises in your programming? Drop a comment down below to share your favorite exercises to build bigger, thicker traps. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, do me a favor and share it with them. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, do so now, and smash that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.